Okay everyone, as the title suggests, I am here to show you the proper way to do P5S Ruby 5, not the garbage way that all the Party Finder groups seem to be using. And I'm going to explain why this is better than what Party Finder is using, rather than just saying it's better and not explaining like so many videos do. I'm going to actually explain why. So first of all, we have up here our group 1 and down here we have group 2, as you would expect. So in this scenario, the mirrors are spawning, the crystals are spawning, the green crystals are expanding, the orange crystals are exploding, and mirrors are disappearing. You end up with something like this. Now after the crystals explode, the best way to position yourself is to have the tanks come in just like this, have the melee at max melee next to the pool, roughly about there. The healer can stay where they are, and the range goes to the corner. This is a good spread. The healer can move back a bit if they want to, but where they are should be just fine. Everyone will then get hit by their AoE, and everyone will be safe. At which point, the tanks move out, just like this. They don't need to go directly onto the melee, but they can go around that area. The range will probably move in a bit as well, ready for the next mechanic. The healer doesn't need to move again, but they can also stack up if they want to. At which point, after everyone baits their AoEs, they all move in, like so. Boss stays near the middle. Everyone's happy, everyone has uptime. No one has to worry about losing anything. All good, all dandy. So just to repeat myself, as I mentioned, this way the boss does not move. Both melees and tanks have full uptime. Ranged, it has uptime because they're ranged anyway, unless they are in the middle of a cast, but that's something that they should be adjusting their rotation for as needed using swift cast and whatever. You don't need me to tell you that. And the healers all dandy where they are. Now I'm going to show you what Party Finder usually does, and I'm going to explain why it is garbage. So first of all, I need to move all of these back to their original starting positions, like so. As I've said, the Party Finder method is garbage. The only thing that's the same in the Party Finder method as the good method is that the ranged go to the outside like so. That's all fine and dandy. They shouldn't change that. However, what Party Finder do is have the melee come in like this, which, in my opinion, is a bad idea, because they also have the healers move here for some reason, and then have the tanks move like this. Now the problem with this is that it causes the boss to follow the main tank. And sure, the melee here, melee 2 can still hit the boss, but this tank down here, this is now a very sad tank. He can't hit the boss without using his ranged attack. Why has he been left alone like that? He can't hit the boss. That's so unfair. The only time that this might be okay is if it's a paladin, because they might be in the middle of their holy circle or holy spirit combo, whatever it is. I don't play paladin, so I have no idea how the rotation is at this point. But for all the other tanks, this is a very bad setup. They have lost uptime. Sure, they can be spamming their ranged attack, whatever, but it's still not great. Of course, after this, you then have the usual thing of everyone gathering onto where the healer is, like so. Everyone moves back, but now, let's see. Oh, hold on a minute. Can you see what's happened here? These two units here, the off-tank and the melee, they are now both sad. We've got double sadness down here because both of them can't reach the boss. Because they've had to disengage because the boss has been moved away. Sure, I'm using Ninja here as melee 2. They might have a Mudra available. They may have saved one up just so that they don't lose uptime. A Reaper might have their Harvest Moon still available, or might just teleport to get a free cast of whatever it's called, Harp, whatever the spell is. Monk is the worst off if they are melee 2, because they have no ranged attack whatsoever. All the others do, but Samurai has a ranged attack, which is, I think that uses NP? I'm not sure, but that's not the use, whatever. Either way, they are both sad because they can't hit their melee combo anymore. And that is why this method is garbage. Yep, Sure, they all move in afterwards, like so, after baiting, and then they can still hit the boss. But it is still very bad because there has been loss of uptime for both the off-tank and melee too, and that is why this is garbage. Now I'm going to move everyone back to their original positions and address some things I often see mentioned in Party Finder as to why the tanks in method is a bad method, and I would explain why they are wrong. Okay, so first of all, let's move everyone to their positions as if we're doing tank in. So we've got the tanks in, we've got the melee at max range on both sides, and the healer can stay where they are. This one's closer to the edge. But everyone is spread out like this. Everyone is within max melee distance at most. The tanks are in as tight as they can next to the puddles. Everyone is safe. No one's going to clip each other here. We're all good. Now, the biggest thing that I hear are the healers. You've got the healers saying, oh, but I need to be in the middle where you're putting the DPS here because I need to heal everyone in my group. Which, yes, they do. But if you actually paid attention to your own job, you would know that standing here at the edge, even just over the line, your AoE heals will reach everyone in your group. I don't know the exact range, but you can go in. You can try it. In fact, if I have the chance, I will put a clip here showing that the heals, the AoE heals, can reach that range from that marker. You can see the line on the floor. You can see where the ranged unit is. You can see where the healer is. And you will see that the AoE heals will hit that. The only AoE heal that might not is Cure 3 from the White Mage, but they're probably not going to be using that anyway. So in conclusion, do the tanks in method. Have melee at max melee range next to the puddle so that they can still hit the boss while also being at a distance to bait their AoE without needing to move too much. Sure, they can do True North to hit their positionals if needed. That's not the worry here. It's the fact that they want to keep their melee attacks and the uptime and not have to use any ranged attacks. So do this method so the boss doesn't move. It will rotate a little bit, sure, that's not a problem. But you want the melee to have melee uptime. You don't want them to lose it, and that includes the tanks in that. If you disagree with me and think this method is actually a worse method than the one Party Finder uses, then tell me and explain why this method is not as good. Explain to me why losing uptime is better for everyone, because I cannot explain why losing uptime would be better. More uptime means the fight finishes faster, you skip mechanics, you get onto the next floor quicker. So stop using garbage strategies. I know it's late in the raid tier to start making guides on the first floor, but I wanted to make this for anyone that might be late into starting the raids, and so that they can get into their head the good strategy and not go with the garbage strategies that Party Finder are spreading around throughout the game. Go with the good strategies and try to get in your head that uptime is what you want. I'm not making any promises here, but I might make another video similar to this for other floors in the tier, but don't hold your breath. I'm not making a promise, just as I said. If I feel like doing it, if I have the time, I will do it. Anyway, thank you for paying attention to me here, if you were paying attention. Post in the comments if you disagree with me, explain why your method is better if it's different, and share this around. I'm interested to know what other streamers think of this. If they think this is a better strategy, if they have a different strategy that Party Finder doesn't even use, that has even better uptime somehow, or if they agree with me and think that this is the better strategy to use. Either way, thank you, goodbye. I will maybe see you next time, I don't know, I hardly upload to YouTube anymore. You can catch me live on Twitch occasionally, at twitch.tv/theborzoi. Link will be in the description. I do stream Final Fantasy XIV, however, most of the time I will be streaming Opera Omnia. I do also stream other games. I will be streaming Octopath Traveler when that comes out in February. I will be streaming the new Final Fantasy XIV content, and I know people have already tuned out at this point because they don't care, but still, goodbye.